And we're back as we're getting ready for a tip-off here between the Sherman Tide and the Cross Lanes Christian Warriors as we have these two teams getting ready to go at it here. And it's going to be the first of several games as part of the Hoops Classic of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. And, gosh, just having seen myself being from Kentucky, their Kentucky branch and what they do a lot of great things and, of course, a lot of great causes to spread the word of Christ. As we're getting ready to start this one here, they just introduced the lineups, and we have the team at midcourt. Of course, a big shout-out to Kate up there on production with me, and also a big shout-out to Brian and Kelly Shepard, both of whom have been a big help and a lot of fun to work with this year on those West Virginia State games, as we're going to get the stat program all set up here as well, as we are getting ready to tip off, as that's going to be number 32 Mullins and number 13 Ellison going at it at midcourt. Here is we're almost underway. Here we go. Live from Doris W. and Walter F. Johnson Arena, the Warriors get the tip. As that's Backus with it, she gives it over to Velopek. And there's going to be a zone defense as it's thrown out. Punched into the post, kicked back out, three ball up, good. Nice shot and good ball movement. That's how you come as McFarland hits the first bucket. And it's now a 3-0 lead for Cross Lanes Christian. It'll be a half-court zone coming from Cross Lanes Christian. Sherman has it now. That's Farrell. They go to the corner. And inside, Farrell has it. Lobbed back out to number 30, Grayley. And over to number 25, Harvey. Grayley with it. She'll go to the corner to Farrell. Back up to Grayley. She'll try the triple. Missed it. Rebound, though. Sherman, the Tide gets it, and we got a foul. And that one was under the bucket on the way up, and that's going to go against number 13, Ellison. That'll be her first, the team's first. And at the line is number 13, Keith for the Tide, as she'll get two shots coming up. And remember, a rule change this year for high school basketball is that one's going to roll out. Rebound goes into the hands of number 23, Parsons, and the Lady Warriors will have it. And a big thank you to Kelly for helping fix a technical glitch on the stats as Ella Parsons under the bucket gets the board and puts it back in. 2 points, 2 boards for Brooke Parsons as she is getting after it in the middle. As it's now a 5-0 lead for Cross Lanes Christian. The Tide is taken inside. She's cut off, back out. And that is number 25, Harvey, with it, and that'll be turned over. First team turnover for the Tide, as now that'll go back to the Lady Warriors. And that's number 12, Eliza Backus, running the point. And she'll get the offense set up. Sherman looks like a tightly packed 2-3 zone, turned over. Here comes Harvey with it, trying to go coast to coast. She'll put it up and get the first points for the Tide. So Sherman on the board now, and the Warriors will have it again. They scored on a triple and then a putback from Brooke, or a triple from McFarland and a putback from Brooke Parsons. As now number 30, Grayley, comes down with it, and Harvey will control the point. Number 25, Summer Harvey, who had the bucket earlier on the steal, as it's thrown to the corner for the three, and it's good. That's number 30, Jaden Grayley, with the bucket, and we're knotted up at 5 here in the first. Backus, she'll lob it over to Velopek. She drives in. Little floater's good. Nice shot from Bailey Velopek. There's a lot of comfort on that drive. You could tell she got good rhythm in her shot and got it to go for her first bucket. As now it's handled up top by Grayley and over to Harvey. Back over. Grayley will drive. She's cut off. Tries to lob it back out. Harvey for three. Missed it. Rebound off and a foul. Rebound was by number 13, Annabeth Keith. And that foul is gonna be, I mean, you kind of think you know it's going to be called on. Okay, that's on Ellison. Be aware that's Ellison's second foul. So as we have substitutions both ways as the shots missed, Sherman is 0 for 3 now from the free throw line. As checking in first for the, first for the Warriors, we have number 22, Olivia Deskins. And for who is, let's see, we have and we have, here we go. Okay. As it's handed up top, thrown inside and put in. And that is number 12, Backus with it. I apologize. I am working to get my system fixed back up. As it's now taking up, and the shot is good. Farrell with the bucket. Dana Farrell, that's her first bucket. As Sherman 2 for 4 from downtown is taken in, put up at a foul. That'll be the first team foul against Sherman. So right now the three ball shot well by both teams. Sherman's 2 for 4. As Cross Lanes has only attempted one, but they made it. And that foul is against Keith, number 13. That's her first, the team first, as a free throw is missed by Backus. She'll get one more, though. And she puts it up, and it rattles out. Neither team tonight, or this morning, I should say, both teams struggling from the line. Sherman 1 for 4, and the Lady Warriors are 0 for 2 as the three balls miss. Comes off, though, and put back up and in by number 5, Farrell. And that's her 5th point. As Sherman now takes the lead 11-9. It's lobbed across court, jumpers up. I think that's a 2. It misses. Rebound Farrell. And she's going to give it back to number 4, Harless, who has checked in the game. A 5-0 run for Sherman over the last 41 seconds. As the jumper's up and missed, rebounds off and fight for it on the floor, and the Lady Warriors come away with it. Backus with the ball. She'll run the point. She gets it down court. Velopek takes it out, throws it inside to number 13, Ellison. She'll go up, miss it. Rebound Farrell. That's her 3rd rebound. 5 points, 3 boards for her so far. She gets it over to Harvey. Takes it inside. Harvey banks up, misses. Rebound put back up and in by number 30, Grayley. And that's 5 points, 3 boards for her. As Sherman now up to a 13-9 lead. And it's thrown inside. Backus gets it out, taken away. Second team turnover as now the Tide are on the run. Harless to the bucket and ball poked out, and it's going to go the other way. Good hustle, though, as now right now Sherman, though, on a 13-4 run over the last 3 minutes and 24 seconds. As now Backus will run the point guard, give it back to Velopek. As it's lobbed over and out of bounds, turnover. That'll go back to Sherman. And it's inbounded. Harless will run the point for the Tide. She gives it over to Harvey, back up to Harless. Over to Harvey, to Harless, and over to Farrell. It's the corner to Grayley, inside. Anyway, a tie up for it as it's put up and missed. Rebound by Annabeth Keith, and hustles for it, both sides, and Sherman gets it. 3 ball up and off. Rebound, a tie up, and that's the possession arrow. We'll give it back to the Tide. So now the Tide will have the basketball, and if you're just tuning in, it's been back fourth early, but right now Sherman with a hand over the last 4 minutes and 5 seconds on a 13-4 run, as number 23 Brooke Parsons is back in for the Lady Warriors, and number 22 Malia Mullins is back in for the Sherman Tide. Annabeth Keith goes inside, and they're going to call, looks like a foul on the floor. It's going to stay with, I'm going to make sure of that. I thought the old bump, that's going to stay with, well, maybe not. Maybe just went out of bounds, but got deflected. But that's going to be thrown into Mullins, and outside shot taken, in and out. Rebound, though, Sherman on the boards heavily, and Ellison will come down with it. And the Lady Warriors running, taken in, and a traveling call, and that'll give it back to Sherman. Right now, Sherman, where they're winning this game, is on the rebounding edge, 12-4 rebounding, including 8-1 an edge in offensive rebounding at this point, as it's going to stay with Sherman. As number 4, Harless will inbound. She gets it into number 25, Summer Harvey, and back over to Harless, and up to Farrell. She'll take it in, one at the mid-range jumper, cut off, back out as it's taken by Harvey and missed. And tipped out. This time the Lady Warriors on the run. Velopek to the bucket, puts it up and in. And that ends a 7-0 Sherman run as over the last 3:39. As Sherman looking to continue to build on that lead. A big part of that, again, offensive rebounding. They've given themselves second chances as they've only hit one of their last 9 shots. And it's nearly thrown away. Back up. Harvey has it. She'll give it over to Harless. And turnover. Backus comes away with it. Third team turnover for Sherman. As Backus will run the point. She gives it over. Velopek, she'll take the jumper. That's a 2. Misses. Rebound up and into the hands of Harless. She'll get the offense set up and get it over to Farrell. And back up to Harless. Harvey to Harless. And over to Farrell. Harless over to Harvey. She'll drive in and put the floater up. Misses, but a foul. So now Summer Harvey will go to the line for 2 shots as that foul goes against McFarland of the Lady Warriors. That'll be her first. Harvey hadn't been here yet. That's our first, and she'll miss, but she'll get another one coming up. Both teams struggling from the line. Sherman 1 for 5, and Crosser's 1 for 6. Now Cross Lanes Christian 1 for 2. Velopek with the basketball, under 10 to go in the quarter. It's deflected. It's going to go out of bounds, and it will, see what the official call is. See a point, but it looks like from indication it's going to stay with the Lady Warriors, as they'll have 4.8 seconds to get a shot off. That's going to be the case. And Velopek will inbound. She looks, gets it in. As it's back, Velopek, she takes it in. At the buzzer, puts it up and misses it. And that's going to do it for the first quarter. Sherman leads Cross Lanes Christian 13-11. We're going to take a break and come back. You're watching Video Productions. And we're back getting ready to start the second quarter. It was back and forth early. The Warriors took a small lead, but Sherman would bounce back, leading 13-9. A big part of that rebounding. They have out-rebounded the Lady Warriors 13-5 at this point. As it's taken up top, that's number 5, McFarland. She's going to get it back out. McFarland's going to try it from outside, and she'll connect. And we're knotted up. 4-0 run for the Lady Warriors, as that's McFarland now with 5. She's also she hit 1 for 1 from downtown. She hit a triple to open the game. Harvey controlling the ball up top. She'll get it over for the jumper, and that one rolls out. And it's rebounded, and that's going to go off, and that's going to go back to the Lady Warriors. 13 all right now here. Neither team has scored, or Sherman has not scored in nearly 4 minutes right now. So interesting how this has become this game especially has become a game of droughts as that's thrown into Backus. Nice penetration into the zone, but couldn't pull it off as a fight for the loose ball, and it's going to be thrown back. McFarland has it. She's going to give it to Parsons, and Velopek will set it up over for the triple. That misses. Rebound and a foul. Okay, and that foul is going to go against number 13, Annabeth Keith of Sherman. That's her second, the team first of the quarter. Now, Keith and Ellison, but the number 13 is on each team. Each have 2 fouls. Take note of that. Harvey with the basketball for the Tide. She'll take it up. She'll look, drive inside, poked out, and it'll stay with Sherman. Each team right now with 4 turnovers apiece. As now we're going to have a couple substitutions coming up. But looking at it right now, I think if I'm Sherman, I keep trying to honestly, they've got good form from the outside. I think I try to keep getting some outside looks, and hopefully one of those will fall. If I'm the Warriors, I think I keep trying to utilize Velopek, keep penetrating the paint. As now that one's blocked by Velopek. What a block on the outside. She's going to take it coast to coast, put it up and in. What a play by number 14, Bailey Velopek. And the Lady Warriors are on a 6-0 run over the last 2 minutes, 54 seconds. As it's taken now, Harless. This is I was talking strategy. You can do that, or you can make a defensive play like Velopek did. As it's on the corner, turned over, that's going to go back to the Lady Warriors. As number 3, Maya Hunter for Sherman, and number 22, Olivia Deskins for Cross Lanes. Christian checked in. And now Backus will control the basketball. She'll take it. Backus gets it over to Velopek. Lobbed over to McFarland. And back over, nearly turned over. Double team trapped as McFarland. She turns it over. Farrell comes away with it. As now Harless has the basketball. She'll give it over. Harvey for the triple. Missed it. Rebound, though. Sherman gets it. Misses, and that's going to go into the hands of Backus. And she'll set the offense up. Give it to McFarland. And back over to Backus. She'll get fouled. And remember the new rule this year. There is that's a second team foul against Sherman. And that'll be the first against number 25, Summer Harvey. But remember the new rule this year. After each team gets up to 5 fouls a quarter. After the 5th foul, there is a double bonus penalty. There is no more 1-and-1 bonus. No more double bonus penalty calculated by half. As Harvey takes it coast to coast, goes up, misses, rebound off, and into the hands of Velopek, and a foul, and not a bad foul, honestly, because Velopek had some running room. And that one is going to go against number 30, Jaden Grayley. That'll be her first and the team's third. As now Velopek has it. She penetrates and gives it to Backus for the jumper. She'll miss it. Rebound off and into the hands of McFarland. She's double-teamed, and it's taken away. As Harvey with the basketball, she'll drive inside and take a back away by Velopek. She'll take the ball as her team leads by 2 and give it over to Backus. She lobs it over to Velopek. They go inside the desk, and she'll put it up and blocked from behind by Michaela Harless. Good block by Harless to get there, as now she'll run the offense for the Tide. And it's thrown in, taken away by Backus. We've had some multiple turnovers as Backus goes 1-on-none to the bucket. Oh, misses. Gets the board, though, and puts it up and in. That makes an 8-0 run for the Lady Warriors. And Coach Saunders has seen enough, I think, of for the Sherman Tide. And the Tide, of course, coached by Saunders. I mentioned Brad Keith and Eric Molaski, as they now are taking a 30-second timeout. And that will be their first. So remember, in high school, each team gets 2 30-second timeouts and 3 full timeouts. However, Sherman has not had a bucket in 6 minutes and 54 seconds right now, as they're just struggling from the field. They're 5 of 21, 23.8%. Meanwhile, Cross Lanes Christian is 8 of 19 for 42.1%, but the rebounding is starting to catch up. It's only at 16-13 in favor now, as Cross Lanes Christian has tightened up pretty heavily on that end, and I think that's been a key factor of their run. The Sherman's not getting those second and third chance opportunities that they were earlier. As now it's taken, thrown over to the corner, blocked by Velopek. That's 2 blocks she has. Both blocks coming from the outside, as that was Kara Mullins attempting the 3-point shot. And honestly, I can't blame her for shooting that. Just Velopek just had incredible speed getting there. As number 15, Hope Keith, will inbound. She gets it inside. It's put up and missed by Mullins. And now Cross Lanes basketball. Backus to the bucket, puts it up and in. 10-0 run now for Cross Lanes Christian. Sherman is really struggling from the field, only one of their last 15 shots, as the drought continues for over 7 minutes. But they're still in it. They're only down 6, as Harless now gets it up to Grayley. She'll set things up and give it over to Mullins and back to Harless. Keith with it, now to the corner to Mullins. She'll penetrate, kick it out. Shot's taken from outside, miss, rebound Velopek. And that's her 5th board. She throws it down to Backus, who takes the jumper and misses. She's there to get her own rebound, though. And she'll go it up. The shot taken from the middle's miss. Rebound by Harless. Backus with 2 offensive rebounds in this one. As now Hunter gets it up to Harless and over to Mullins. And over to Harless. Thrown in as Grayley goes up. Gets it. That ends the 10-0 run. And it's back to a 4-point game. Nice shot on the inside. Jaden Grayley with 7 points and 4 boards. As it's taken away and put up and missed. That one goes over the backboard by Michaela Harless. Not a bad idea, though, as Harvey, number 25, checks back in. As now the Tide picking up full court. And it's inbounded to number 5, McFarland, and back to Velopek. And she takes it in, and it's thrown to the outside and put up and missed. Rebound by Summer Harvey. And she's on the run. Harvey against Velopek goes up and misses but gets fouled. Question is, are they going to call that on the shot or on the ground? That'll be Velopek's first foul, so they are going to call it in the act of shooting. Harvey will go to the free throw line. She was there earlier, and this time she makes the first one. She was 0 for 2 earlier, and she's going to get a second one coming up. I have a feeling we're going to see a great back-and-forth one between these two teams. They get after it as Harvey misses a second rebound by Brooke Parsons. and it's thrown out to Backus. She's double-teamed, lobs it over to Velopek, who drives in, tried to get it to McFarland. I think she thought McFarland was under the bucket. Instead, that is going to be a turnover, and it will go back to the Sherman Tide. Cross Lanes Christian with 10 turnovers, Sherman with 7 right now. Here as we're under the 2-minute mark to go. As Harless has it, over to Harvey and back to Harless. She'll get it over to Hunter. Back up to Harless. Harless guarded tightly by Velopek. Harvey with it now. Harvey goes in, puts the shot up. Wild shot, misses, but the rebound goes off to Harvey. She'll take it, and the shot's put up, and a foul. And that was, or no, I'm sorry, that's going to be turned over. I thought for a second they were going to calling a foul, but that must have been maybe a traveling foul. I didn't see had a couple bodies blocking my way, and I apologize for that. As it's inbound by Backus, the Tide picking up full court. Velopek with the basketball. Nearly poked out. She'll throw it over to Backus. And they're going to call her for a double dribble. That'll go back to the Tide. So right now, Cross Lanes Christian, as that will take a full timeout to talk things over. They're up by 3, and we will take a break as well. You're watching the FCA Hoops Classic here on Video Productions. And we're back. It's 19-16. Cross Lanes Christian leading Sherman here in the first half in a game that's been back and forth. As Michaela Harless has the basketball, she'll give it to Harvey, over to Harless. Screen coming for her. And now Harvey has it, thought about the three. Instead, it bounces off of her and bounces all over the place. She tries to get it out but gets fouled. As that'll be the second team foul against Cross Lanes Christian with under a minute to go in the half. As that's number 5, Dana Farrell checking back in for Cross Lanes Christian here, or for Sherman, I apologize. As now it's going to be under a minute to go, and Sherman may just try to hold this one out. We'll see. Harvey gets it over to Harless. She'll handle it, give it back to Harvey. And over to Farrell. And in the corner to Grayley. She'll drive, get cut off for Grayley, and give it back out for the 3 ball. Got it! Harvey hits the 3, and we're knotted up at 19 here with under 30 to go in the half. Backus controlling the point. She gets it to McFarland, who hit a 3 earlier. Backus inside, open, got it! 10 seconds to go in the half. Sherman basketball. That's number 4, Harless with it. She'll get over. Harvey, and deflected, nearly taken away by Velopek, but there's 2.6 seconds left. Backus has 8 so far, leading all scores, by the way, for the Lady Warriors. As now number 4, Harless will inbound. She gets it to Harvey at 2, at 1. Harvey at the buzzer, and that's no good, and that'll do it for the first half. It's 21-19. Cross Lanes Christian in the lead over Sherman. We're going to take a break and come back. You're watching the Fellowship of Christian Athletes Hoops Classic here on Video Productions. Okay, we're back for the third quarter as Cross Lanes Christian leads Sherman 21-19. And Sherman will start the second half off with the basketball. And just looking at the lineups here, we have let's see, we'll go back to my here for Sherman. We have Harless, Harvey, we have Farrell, Grayley, and I'm missing somebody, Keith. Meanwhile, for Cross Lanes Christian, we have McFarley, Backus, who leads all scorers with 8, Ellison, Velopek, and Parsons. Take note that number 13, Ellison, and number 14, Velopek, for Cross Lanes Christian has 2 fouls, and number 13, Annabeth Keith, for Sherman has 2 fouls. As it's thrown away, and that'll be the 12th team turnover for Cross Lanes Christian. Sherman has 8 as it's thrown to the corner. Grayley for the triple. Got it! And Sherman retakes the lead. Cross Lanes Christian closed out the half on an 8-2 run. Sherman bounces back and takes the lead to open the half. That's Grayley's second 3. She's the first scorer of this game to reach double digits. A fight for the rebound, and it's going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow will keep it with the Lady Warriors. Cross Lanes Christian, coached by Abigail Jeffrey, definitely a program that has the potential to make some noise this year. And Coach Jeffrey, of course, what a job she's done out there. You can tell as it's turned over and taken away. That'll go to Harvey, and she'll go the other way with it. Harvey drives inside and will put the floater up, miss it, rebound Backus. That's 5 boards for Backus. She goes down court. Parsons takes it and scores her 4th point. Parsons now 4 points, 4 rebounds, and it's a 1-point lead. Back and forth we're going here in this second half. As we have another jump ball, that's going to give it back to Sherman. As Deskins comes back in, number 22 for Cross Lanes Christian, and Parsons will take a breather as now number 4, Harless has it. She gets it over to Harvey, back up to Harless, and over to Farrell. Grayley over to Harless. She'll bring it out against Velopek and give it back up to Harvey. She'll go up, miss it, rebound into the hands of... That will go to Ellison, and the ball will go back to the Warriors, who lead by 1. As now number 14, Velopek, running the point. She has 6 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, and only credited for 1 block, but she has 2 in this one as Velopek goes up and misses. Rebound and a whistle. I think that Annabeth Keith was tripped. She got the board. All right, and looks like that's the case, and that's going to go against Olivia Deskins of Cross Lanes Christian. She just fell down before the rebound, and then Keith tripped over her. So that'll be Deskins' first foul, as now Harless will control the point. She'll give it over to Harvey. Harvey looking he goes to the corner for the jumper, and it's missed. Rebound Ellison. And a foul. They're going to call a travel. So that'll go back to to Sherman. Start the second half. Well, I got to say, Ellison hasn't scored yet, but has 4 boards and 2 assists, and it seems like she's been asserting herself on the glass. This ass is thrown in, and I think Velopek might have gotten a piece of that, and that's going to go back to Sherman. That's so Velopek with 3 blocks now. As it's thrown in, deflected out of bounds, and it's going to stay with Sherman. I feel like Cross Lanes Christian, I feel more of a sense of intensity coming from them this half. As now number 5, Farrell, will inbound for Sherman. She'll look, and get it into Harless. Michaela Harless throws it. Harvey's going to try the jumper. She'll miss. Rebound, Velopek. He'll take it down court, give it to Backus, thrown inside, and Ellison kicks it out. Backus over to Velopek. Good ball movement. Jumper taken by McFarland. It's missed, and rebound goes to Grayley of Sherman. Sherman has missed their last 6 shots trying to get something going here on offense. And that's how you do it, by playing good defense to give yourself chances. As that's missed, a rebound and a foul drawn. And that is going to go against number 14, Velopek. She is the first player, either team right now, that has 3 fouls. And going to the line will be number 13, Annabeth Keith. She has 1 point, which she scored from the line earlier. Misses the first free throw as number 23, Parsons, checks back in. Parsons, who got a good bucket run in the court early. Brooke Parsons that got a good bucket run in the court earlier. As now Keith will get 1 more. It's up, and it's good. So now Velopek will inbound. Her team trying to get the lead as we're tied up here in the third. Screen for double screen coming as it's launched over. Velopek goes inside, lobs it over to the corner. McFarland back up to Velopek. She'll take it. And Velopek over to Backus. She'll try the triple. Got it! What a shot by Eliza Backus. She now has 11, along with 5 rebounds and 2 assists. A big shot, and that gives her team a 3-point lead here in the second half. Jumper from Harvey misses, tipped out and into the hands of Harless. She fakes, and that's going to be a jump ball. Possession arrow is with Sherman. That was a big shot from Backus to open it up. And right now, Cross Lanes Christian 2 for 4 from downtown for 50%, as that one goes out. I believe that was off of Cross Lanes Christian, so that'll go back to Sherman. Or I'm sorry, other way around, as the Lady Warriors of Cross Lanes will have it. And now Backus will run the point. Her team leading by 3. Screen from Parsons. Backus kicks it out. Velopek. She lobs it across court to McFarland. She's double teamed. She'll give it over to Velopek, and it's poked out, nearly taken away. Velopek hangs on and gets fouled. And that foul's going to go against Harless. That'll be her first. And that'll be the team's second. I apologize. That'll be the team's first. Remember, Velopek on the court right now with 3 fouls for Cross Lanes Christian. Backus thinks about it. Instead, throws it inside, puts up and missed. Rebound, Harvey. And she's going to run with it. Harvey into a sea of defenders, puts it up, misses. Rebound, Backus. She tips it right into the hands of Keith. And it's thrown away. Backus now with the basketball. And she's going to pick it up and bring it back out, surrounded by Sherman defenders. She gets it to Velopek, who puts the shot up and misses. I don't think a Sherman player touched it. They didn't. That's going to go back to the Tide. So we've been back and forth. Sherman has not hit a field goal in the last 3 minutes, 57 seconds. They missed shot the last 10. Much credit to their defense because they're only down 3 right now. As Harvey fakes, goes in, blocked. Velopek again gets it. As now Backus on the run. It's 3-on-1 the other way. She throws it and just wasn't quite ready for the pass. That's going to go out and back to Sherman. Right now, and a 30-second timeout taken. So if you're just tuning in, it was back and forth. It's been back and forth. Cross Lanes Christian picked up a 5-point lead early in this one. However, Sherman would bounce back. They would go on a 13-4 run. Then Cross Lanes Christian would go on Sherman would lead 13-9. Cross Lanes Christian would bounce back with an 8-0 run themselves, and they would seesaw their way to halftime. And now we sit at a 26-23 lead, where Eliza Backus just hit a big 3-pointer for Cross Lanes Christian a moment ago. However, Sherman, 0 field goals in the last 4 minutes, 17 seconds. So they have only had, I believe, 1 field goal this half, if I'm correct. Yes, they are 1 of 12 for the second half. Cross Lanes Christian not doing much better. They're 2 for 7, but have that big 3-pointer. So I think that if I'm Sherman, I mean, honestly, you got to keep attacking those boards. And if you're Cross Lanes Christian, I really think you want to try to keep penetrating and utilizing the strength of those guards, as that's going to be a turnover and go back to Cross Lanes Christian. So Velopek to inbound as she'll get it in. Her team leading by 3 on the court right now. Velopek has 3 fouls. Ellison 2 for the Lady Warriors of Cross Lanes Christian. Nobody else in any real trouble as McFarland has it. She's going to throw it up to Parsons. And it is taken away. Harvey to the bucket, puts it up, got it. Summer Harvey again on the run, gets the bucket. She has 8. Also 4 steals for Harvey, as now McFarland has it. She's going to throw it into Parsons. She goes up, misses, rebound into the hands of Harless. 1-point game here in the third, as it's going to be Grayley against Backus. She'll bring it back out. Grayley throws it inside. Good hands put up and in by Malia Mullins. And that's her first bucket of this one. And it's a 1-point lead here in the third for Sherman. We are seesawing back and forth here as it's out to the corner to McFarland, and she'll miss it and put back up, missed. Rebounded, though, and out to McFarland. Good hustle from Ellis, and that's what I mean. She's positioning herself under the bucket extremely well this half and giving her team second opportunities for points. And that last foul went against Summer Harvey, and that'll be her second, the team's second. Neither team in any real foul trouble right now, both with 2. As number 22, Olivia Deskins, checks back in for Cross Lanes. And Annabeth Keith checks back in for Sherman. As Backus inbounds, she gets it to Velopek. She'll bring it back up top, reset things. Backus for her second triple, missed it. Rebound by Farrell. And we're just not far from a minute to go here in the third. As Harless gets it over. Harvey drives, goes up, and misses. Rebound to Backus. So now she'll control the point and be picked up by Harless. She'll give it to Velopek. And over to McFarland, turned over. That's going to be Farrell coming out of there with it. So now under a minute to go, Sherman may or may not hold for the last shot here. As Harless slows it down, she gets it to Farrell. Farrell back to Harless. And she'll look and give it over to Harvey. She drives in, little floater, up and good. Summer Harvey starting to catch fire, as now Sherman on a 6-0 run. Backus drives in, and she'll give it up to Velopek. And over, it's deflected out by who else? She gets it off of McFarland. That's going to give Sherman now a chance for the last second shot here to end the third. As now it's inbounded, and Harless will control it. Sherman on a 6-0 run, as that's deflected out. And now Cross Lanes Christian, the one that's actually going to be a turnover. That'll go back to Cross Lanes Christian. And Cross Lanes Christian has 18 turnovers compared to 13 for Sherman. Velopek kicks it out. Harvey takes it, throws it back in, and at 3 seconds, Grayley has it. That one goes out, and it's going to go back to Sherman. So Sherman, with 1.6 seconds left, they're going to have to get something down court. We'll see what they try to do as Cross Lanes brings everybody up. Harvey's just going to hold it out, and that's going to do it for the third quarter. So it's 29-26. Sherman in the lead, the tide ahead. And we're going to take a break and come back. You're watching the Fellowship of Christian Athletes Hoops Classic here on Video Productions. Sherman shooting the ball 26% compared to 34% for Cross Lanes Christian. Cross Lanes has shot 5 threes. They've hit 2 for 40%. Sherman has shot 13 threes. They've hit 4 for 31%. 19 turnovers for Cross Lanes. Sherman with 13. The difference, points off turnovers. Sherman leads 12-2 in that category. Sherman out rebounding 30-26, 16-8 on the offensive end. And no major. We've had 5 ties, 5 lead changes in this one. As now we're getting ready to start this fourth quarter. As Harless drives in and she'll draw the foul. If that's on Velopek, that's going to be her 4th. And that is, she's going to have to be very careful from this point on. As she picks up her 4th foul, one more, she will be out of the game. First team fouls. It's thrown into Harvey, and that'll be a foul against Parsons. I think she did a good job getting her hands up. I think she might have got her with her body, as that's going to send Harvey to the line for 2 shots. And she'll put the first one up, and that rattles out. And neither team shooting the ball well from the free throw line tonight. Sherman 3 for 11 for 27%. Cross Lanes is 0 for 2. And Harvey, though, hits the second, giving her team a 4-point lead. Backus controlling the basketball. She'll give it to Velopek, who gets picked up by Harless. Gets it over to McFarland for the triple. Misses, rebound, out of bounds. That looked like it went off Parsons. It did. So it's going to go back to Cross Lanes Christian. As it's inbounded to Harless. They can give it over to Harvey. Back up to Harless. And over to Harvey. She'll try the triple. Missed it. Rebound out of bounds. And it will go to the Lady Warriors of Cross Lanes Christian. Or no, correction. They overruled the call. It is going to go back to Sherman. So now number 5, Dana Farrell, will inbound. She looks, throws it in, and it's taken away by Backus. She has numbers. Backus with the basketball. Goes in, post up. No, we'll bring it back out instead. She gets it over to Velopek. And lobbed over to Backus. She throws it inside. Ellison under the bucket. Tried to feed Parsons. A good idea in theory, but turned over, and Harvey comes out of there with it. Harvey drives in, puts the shot up, misses. Rebound goes off to Backus. And that's 7 rebounds for Eliza Backus. And she'll slow things down and get it over to McFarland. Then got to try to find a way to get her open. She's shown she can hit the triple. Velopek drives, puts the floater up and in. Bailey Velopek with her 8th point. And it's back to a 2-point game. Harless with the ball now. She'll give it over to Harvey, and nearly taken away by Velopek. Harless with, I think, I try to apply a little bit of pressure if I'm cross lanes. As now it's rebounded by Ellison. That's her 7th board. Velopek against Harvey into the lane. Puts it up and in. We're tied again at 30. 6th tie here in this ball game. Oh, what a game this has been. Back and forth between 2 very good basketball teams as it's thrown inside and turned over again. That's going to be the 15th team turnover. It's taken in. Backus to the bucket, and she'll draw the foul on Harless. That'll be her 2nd. Nobody on the court other than Velopek, who I mentioned, has more than 3 fouls right now, as Velopek has 4 and has to be very careful on the timeout end. Just to give you, since we're approaching the 5-minute mark, that'll be Harless' 2nd foul. But right now, Cross Lanes Christian has 2 full and 2:32 remaining, and Sherman has all 3 of their full timeouts remaining as Backus misses the first free throw. The good news for her, she'll get 1 more. As Backus to the line, she'll get 1 more coming up. She has 11 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, as also number 0, See, as she gets it, and a 5-0 run now for Cross Lanes Christian over the last 46 seconds. And in for the Lady Warriors, number 00, Sammy Huff, and number 10, Gracie Bowles, as it's thrown into Harvey, who scores. Summer Harvey now with 13. Really coming into her own here in the second half, and Sherman retakes the lead. Velopek over to Backus. Backus to Velopek. She'll drive inside, put the floater up and in. And she's had 6 of her team's last 7 points, as she now has 12. We're just approaching the 5-minute mark. Harless over to Grayley. That as it's back out and nearly turned over. Back to Grayley. I go to Grayley or Harvey if I'm Sherman. And Grayley's going to take and miss the jumper. Put back up and in, though, by number 13, Annabeth Keith. And this teams are seesawing back and forth here with this one here in the second half. As it's given back out to Velopek with it now. She'll lob it over and turned over. Harvey now with it. She's going to go and take it back. A wild shot taken and miss as Harvey goes down as it's 5-on-4 the other. Action's still playing. And Harvey is down. She did. It was not a leg. I think she landed just awkwardly, but we are going to take a timeout and come back. She's moving her legs good. We will take a timeout and come back. You're watching Video Productions. And of course, good news, Harley got up, and it looks like she was pointing toward her lower back, and I think she just fell awkwardly on it. She got up, and hopefully we'll see her back here in this one, but a foul called on number 4, Harless, and that will be her 3rd of Sherman. So Harless, the first player on Sherman with 3, as Velopek goes to the free throw line and misses that one. Velopek, I mentioned the other player on the floor right now with 4 fouls. She has another free throw coming, and she'll miss that one. Rebound up, and it goes out. Sherman basketball. So now Farrell to inbound. She'll throw it into Harless. Sherman up 1, and a chance to maybe build on that a little bit. Of course, Harvey out of the game for the moment, but remember, Grayley has 10 and has been efficient from the field. As that's just what I mentioned. Jaden Grayley now with 12, as now it's thrown up to Huff, and Velopek with it, launched to Backus. She'll take the basketball. She's cut off. It's over to Velopek, and she puts the shot up, misses. Ellison there for the rebound as it's thrown, and Huff's shot goes out of bounds. That'll go back to the Tide. as Parsons checks back in for the Lady Warriors. And also looking to see through everybody here. Ellie McFarland checks back in for the Lady Warriors. As now we're under 4 minutes to go. Harless for the triple. Oh, she baked it in. That's her first shot of the game, and it's a big one as it gives Sherman a 6-point lead here in the fourth. Plenty of basketball left, though. Velopek over to Backus. And remember that you don't, if you're Cross Lanes Christian, as Parsons has it, and a jump ball, it's going to go back to Sherman on that. But remember, if you're Cross Lanes Christian, you don't have to try to instantly hit a couple threes. You've got plenty of time. You can attack it slowly. And Sherman, though, will get the basketball back. And Michaela Harless, who hit the big three-pointer, running the point for Sherman. She'll take it and give it up to Grayley. And she'll lob it over as Dana Farrell has it. And deflected, but back into the hands of Grayley. Harless to Grayley. She takes it back. And Harless against Velopek. Velopek has to be careful with 4 fouls as Harless puts the floater up and a whistle. And that is going to go against Velopek. That is going to be her 5th foul. She will foul out of the game with 12 points. A great performance from her. 7 rebounds along with 3 assists, 3 blocks, and 2 steals as they get ready to substitute for her. The first shot by Harless is good. Harless, a 9-2 run for Sherman over the last 3 minutes. As Harless will get one more as Grayley comes over. And Sammy Huff is back in the game now with Velopek having fouled out of the game. One more for Harless. Again, not a single point scored until the second half, as that's going to be a lane violation, and it'll go back to Cross Lanes Christian. But she's had her team's last 4, and they could not come at a bigger time. She hits a 3, then a free throw, and now a 7-point lead for the Sherman Tide. As Backus running the point, she gives it over to McFarland. McFarland double team trapped. They take the ball, but a jump ball called. Possession arrow keeps it with Cross Lanes Christian. Backus will inbound, her team trailing by 7 here in the fourth. She gets it into Parsons and back over to Backus. She'll drive in, put the floater up, and it rolls in. Eliza Backus with the buckets, and she has 14 to go along with 8 rebounds. 3 ball up and miss. Rebound by McFarland, a jump ball called, and that's going to keep it with Sherman. Backus having a great game tonight. 4 steals as well. As now Farrell will inbound. She looks and looks, and that's thrown out of bounds, and we'll give it back to Cross Lanes. 17th team turnover, so Cross Lanes now a chance to try to attack some more and chip into that lead. Velopek on the bench, having fouled out, as Huff has it, and she'll give it to McFarland and take it away by Harvey, who's back in, and a foul. Good to see her get back in after that awkward fall earlier. And that's going to go against McFarland, her second foul. And the team fourth. The next foul on Cross Lanes Christian will put Sherman in the penalty. They will get 2 shots for the remainder of the quarter. As now Harless has it, she'll give it to Harvey. Nice ball movement on the inside, and number 13, Annabeth Keith, gets the bucket to increase the lead back to 7. As Backus now running the point. She'll get picked up by the double screen, and it's lobbed over McFarland. Double teamed, and it's thrown over. Ellison comes down, and she tries to get it, but Grayley fouls her. So Grayley will pick up her second foul. Harless is the only player for or either team on the court. Number 4, Harless for Sherman, has 3 fouls, but she's the only player on either team that has that is in any kind of foul trouble as it's lobbed in and taken away. Harless going the other way. She'll lay it up and in. Michaela Harless, 6 points at a big time. All of her points has come when her team was up by 3. She hit a 3 to make it 39-33, hit a free throw, and now just got that steal and a lay-in to put the game lead up to 9. Backus inside, misses the floater, rebound Ellison. She goes up, misses. Rebound off, and they're going to say that was out. So it'll go back to Sherman. But again, a great effort by Hannah Ellison on the boards. 8 rebounds for her today for Cross Lanes Christian for number 13. As now Harless will slow it down, under a minute remaining. Farrell back up to Harless. She'll throw it to Harvey, thrown inside to Keith. She puts it up and in. Back-to-back plays to Annabeth Keith. That's a nice feed, as that's understandable why you would want to collapse on Harvey at the free throw line, giving her mid-range shooting, and Keith comes up with it. Parsons feeds it inside to Ellison and back out to Backus. And she'll throw it over to McFarland. Backus with the basketball now. And she'll drive in. Backus, little floater up and in. Nice shot from Eliza Backus. She leads all scorers with 16. And now Harless will walk it up with under 20 seconds to go. I think they're just going to walk this one out. We'll see if Cross Lanes decides to foul. And I don't think they're going to, as Farrell will hold it at 5. So that'll do it for this one. So Sherman will pick up a nice win, 46-37 over Cross Lanes Christian here at West Virginia University. And just going through some numbers real quick, for scoring for Sherman, Summer Harvey led the way with 13. Grayley had 12. Keith had 8. Harless had 6. Farrell had 5, and Mullins 2. Meanwhile, for Cross Lanes Christian, Backus had 16. Velopek, who fouled out late in the game, had 12. McFarland had 5, and Parsons had 4. And I think the big difference in this one partially was turnovers. You had 26 turnovers for Cross Lanes Christian, 17 for Sherman, but the point differential off turnovers was 21-5 in favor of Sherman. We want to say thank you for tuning in and watching this one, and get ready because we got plenty more basketball coming up. Next up, we have the men's teams competing, Cross Lanes Christian and Hannon, and we're going to take a break and come back. You're watching the Fellowship of Christian Athletes Hoops Classic here on Video Productions.